working on the front row with Scott today. We're going to 5 red lights for the Korean Grand Prix, and we are off at the moment. So now onto lap 20, going down for the hairpin. Scott's going right now, but no, he downshifts too much. He's into reverse gear, just downshifting too fast there, too eager on the downshifts there. He can move down the inside or down the outside. Let's see, down to this next corner, shifts all the way down to first gear, makes the diving move stick, and he's up into second place now. Hey there guys, over here bringing you my F1 2013 career mode with Scott Jenson. Today we're here at the Suzuka circuit. It was full wet qualifying and we're going to start on intermediate tyres for the race today. 38% chance of rain, so we're starting on intermediates. I'm going to guess that we're going to be switching to the dry tyres later on. And so today we're on board with Scott Jenson in the Sauber team, and he's qualified in second place today. Brilliant job in qualifying in the full wet conditions. Obviously after going manual suggested gears from the last episode, you know, gaining a lot of pace in the Sauber car, and here's the setup we've gone for the full wet conditions in qualifying and for this dry mixed conditions race. And there was a bit of a weird glitch here for the game. It was saying quite a lot of intermediate tyres, saying the intermediates will only last 6 laps, but you'll actually see that that was actually true. The intermediates not really going that much here at Suzuka, but obviously, as I said, 38% chance of rain, so really it should be getting dry towards the end perhaps. So we'll have to see how that goes. We've got Lewis Hamilton on pole in the Mercedes, on the left of Scott Jenson in the Sauber. Nico Hülkenberg, Scott's teammate, in 3rd place. So the Sauber is a very good performance for them, both of them. It should be a good points haul for the constructors. Obviously, if you missed last episode at Korea, it was a very good one. We had to do some last minute overtaking with Scott Jenson at the end to get a good 2nd place. Can he improve on that and maybe get a win, or maybe just equal his qualifying and get another 2nd place here at Suzuka? We'll have to see. But it's mixed conditions, so anything can really happen. And, you know, there's a chance for some mistakes from the AI and from Scott. So we'll have to see how that goes. So let's get into the Japanese Grand Prix. Obviously, the fans are very loyal to their to their Japanese drivers. Obviously, no Japanese drivers on the grid this year. Kamui Kobe actually sadly not on the grid with us, but they're pretty much fans of everyone. They'll cheer on everyone, and they just love to see a good scrap. So here we go. We're going to the grid. You can see that confirmation. Nico Hülkenberg 3rd place, Scott Jenson 2nd. We're starting in a very soggy Japanese Grand Prix. We're going for 5 red lights here at Japan, and we are off. The lights on for an eternity there, but now we're off, and Scott's getting an okay start. Hamilton's had a brilliant start. Scott bogging down time, having to defend from Grosjean, who's overtaken Hülkenberg straight off the bat. But now Scott going down to the first corner. Looks like Hamilton's made a mistake there, and Scott goes round the outside for 1st place there, squeezing at Hamilton. Hamilton's still very much there, but Scott braves it out in the inside and gets 1st place. Hamilton making a crucial mistake into the 1st corner, and now Scott's going to carry through this momentum to the next pit stop. Really, it's very difficult to overtake in wet conditions here at Japan, and he's held 1st place. But you can see their confirmation, the tyres do not really last at all. 6 laps in and the tyres are completely dead on the intermediate tyres. Scott's going to have to pit. Hamilton, I think, is already pit. Webber and Perez have not behind Scott, so we're all going to pit right now with Scott Jenson. Let's see how the pit stop goes for him. He's into lead mix right now, and he's confirming we're going for another intermediate tyre stop. So these are going to go for another 6 laps, and quickly we're going to look at people down the line, and it looks like, yes, everyone is pitting right about now. Scott a bit wary that if he's made the wrong decision there, but no, it's definitely, again, another set of intermediates here. Maybe not for as long as the engineers are telling us on all the way down the pit wall, especially the Red Bull mechanics. They're quite interesting to listen to, and they're saying Adrian Newey and Christian Horner has told Vettel and Webber that the rain is starting to seize up and they might want to go into the option tyres in a few laps. So we'll have to see how that goes for Scott and Sauber. Obviously Sauber not a biggest team as Red Bull, but they can still try and call the shots, and Scott, being a very clever racer, he can call the shots himself from the pit wall. Obviously he's got quite a big #1 status there at Sauber, so he can really make it up as he goes along. So we're on to lap 10 now with Scott, and he's chasing down Fernando Alonso, who is, I don't think has pit yet. We're not too sure on that. We need to try and confirm that. I don't think Fernando Alonso has pit yet. And we're coming out to lap 10, and we're hearing that Scott's engineers have told him to make a pit stop right now for the dry tyres. Scott's agreeing with him, and it looks like Alonso's also dived into the pits. So maybe Alonso has stayed out on the worn intermediate tyres. He was quite a bit down the grid, so it looks like he's maybe gained by staying out in the intermediate tyres and coming in for the dry tyres only, what's that, about, 4 or 5 laps after the guys pit once for the intermediate. So Scott onto the dry tyres, but no, oh my god, I'm hearing in my ear, Alonso has stayed on the intermediate tyres. There is confirmation, Alonso on the intermediate tyres, and we've got Nico Rosberg on the option tyres. Scott Jenson has preferred to go on the prime tyres, so that might work in favour for him. The option tyres do not last that long, so I'm quite surprised that Nico Rosberg has chosen to go onto the option tyres. Option tyres probably only last about maybe about 6 laps, so pretty much the same as intermediate, whereas the prime tyres can last a good 8 laps, so not major difference, but 2 laps does make a difference if you're losing about 3 seconds a lap on those other 2 laps on the option tyres. And so onto the end of lap 11, Scott is gaining rapidly on Alonso. He's on intermediate tyres, and it's getting a bit wet here in the chicane part, but going on to the rest of the lap, it's very dry, and yet there we go. Alonso dives in the pits and goes on to dry tyres, being a bit of a stupid idiot there, just going on to the intermediate tyres. So Scott is currently leading the Grand Prix. He's got DRS. He's leading the Japanese Grand Prix. It's fantastic stuff for him, but we can't rest on our laurels. We saw last time out in the Korean Grand Prix, Scott made a crucial mistake, and that let him slip away from the lead and let Alonso take the lead for the Korean Grand Prix win. So on to lap 16 now, and Scott is in first place still very much. He's got a nice, I think that's a 2-second cushion there to Nico Rosberg. So coming to the first turn for lap 16, and it looks like he's not really having any trouble at the moment with Rosberg. Just going through the S's now. The S is a very tough part of the circuit, and now we're looking down. Looks like Rosberg's actually pit now. So Rosberg onto another set of option tyres, which is just so strange. That means that Rosberg has to pit once more, and Scott has to pit once more, but Rosberg's already like a good 12 seconds back. So now onto lap 19 as Scott Jenson pits for the last time. He's going to put on another set of prime tyres to go to the end. 7 laps on the primes. He can really lean on those tyres and really take the life out of them. Well, Nico Rosberg, 12 seconds back, is not going to pit yet. He's going to overtake Scott Jenson. It looks like on the mini-map. Yeah, I think he probably is going to overtake Scott Jenson. There we go. Rosberg overtaking him. So Rosberg into the lead now, but he's on the option tyres. He's going to have to pit again in probably about a lap or 2. So that is going to put him right back behind Scott Jenson, because Scott's going to have faster pace on the prime tyres, even though Rosberg's on the faster option tyres, if you know what I mean. The tyre wear kind of levels it out and puts it in Scott's favour. So let's really see how he can take the life out of these prime tyres and maybe even catch Rosberg. I'm going to make a prediction here that he's going to catch Rosberg by the end before he even makes a pit stop. And there you go, onto lap 21. Rosberg there in first place, right ahead of Scott Jenson. Rosberg still has to pit once more, so Scott's already caught up with him, so he's definitely going to be taking the lead this Grand Prix. The only thing that can spoil it is if he makes a mistake himself. He's setting purple sectors here right off the bat on his first flying lap on the prime tyres. He goes down the inside, Nico Rosberg, diving move. They're side by side still. Scott keeps it clean round the outside, no contact made. Beautiful move there from Scott. He's into first place. Rosberg dives into the pits as I predicted, and Scott is going to, looks like he's going to just walk this Grand Prix, and he's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix as we're on to lap 27. His tyres are really worn. Rosberg's a good 12 seconds back now, and Scott Jenson is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix brilliantly in his inferior Sauber. Brilliant job there from Scott to win the Japanese Grand Prix. His team's going to be very happy indeed. He shakes his arms in the air, and there we go. Nico Hülkenberg in 10th place, getting 1 point for the Sauber boys. So 26 points for the constructors for Sauber. But it's a very good day for Scott Jenson. He's won the Japanese Grand Prix. Sort of makes up for the calamities that were the Korean and Singapore Grand Prix, and finally he gets another win to add to his tally from the one he got down earlier in the season in Canada. So guys, if you've enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, give it a like, comment below on what you thought, subscribe if you're new for weekly F1 Career Mode with Scott Jenson. I'll pass it to my colleague Jeff to take you through the full results. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, it was an absolute stunner as Scott Jenson takes a win at the Japanese Grand Prix. Who would have thought it? The rookie takes a win at the Japanese Grand Prix. A very tough track, and the rookie bows down and just overtakes galore and overtakes Nico Rosberg there towards the end for first place. He's now 6th place in the Drivers' Championship behind Lewis Hamilton, only a few points behind Lewis Hamilton, so we could see him overtaking Lewis later on. Sauber still very much ahead of Vodafone, McLaren, Mercedes, and now the rumours are that they're actually looking forward to try and overtake Lotus for that 4th spot in the Constructors, and Scott's going to look to try and overtake Lewis Hamilton in the Drivers. So it's been an absolute fantastic Grand Prix here at the Japanese Grand Prix. We thoroughly hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was fantastic action to see a rookie win the Japanese Grand Prix. Who would have thought it? So if you enjoyed it, give it a like, comment below on what you thought, and we'll see you guys next time for the next race. Till then, ta-da!